Hello there Year 4s, it's Mr Conway here, and this is a how-to guide for your math lesson today. And it's a very exciting math lesson because you're going to be making a treasure map using your knowledge of coordinates from yesterday's lesson that you did on My Maths. Now then, what you need to do first of all, your first step before you start drawing your treasure map and hiding your buried treasure, is actually to make a grid and to draw a grid. Now there are a couple of options of how you could do this. First of all, if you're able to print, you could print this slide and your grid is there for you already. You've got 10 by 12 grid. If you can't print it off, you could use some squared paper. And if you use squared paper, you're just going to copy this grid onto your squared paper and make sure that the top and bottom of every square can be one of your numbers. Now, if you are unable to print and you don't have squared paper, do not panic, because neither do I today, because I'm going to model for you now how to draw an accurate-ish grid just using plain paper. You will need a pencil and you will need a ruler. And on your ruler, you need to make sure that we're looking at the centimeters that's on top. So we're going to be working with this, okay? So we need to make a grid that has a y-axis of 10 and an x-axis of 12. Now I'll show you that again on here. This is my y-axis, and it goes from 0 to 10. And then my x-axis, which is those backwards two C's, is from 0 to 12. Okay, I'm going to start by drawing my y-axis. Now, you might be tempted, and this is a marvellous mistake lots of children do, just to plop your ruler in the middle of your paper and then start drawing your grid. Now, if you do that, a couple of things might happen. You might not be straight. You might run out of room, which is the main problem. So, what I would do, I'm going to use this yellow piece of paper. Like I said before, find your centimetres, and actually, I want you to line up the edge of your ruler to the edge of your paper. And if you do that, it will guarantee a straight line for your y-axis. And it's the y-axis we're going to look at first. Now remember, I said my y-axis needs to go from 0 to 10. I've got my 0 here, but 10 is, oh, there's number 10. Right, so I want to put that right down at the bottom. So I'm going to move my ruler down so that 10 is in line with the very bottom. There we go. And my ruler on this side is still straight to the edge of the paper. So I've got my 0 here, and my 10 is just on the line. This is going to be my y-axis. However, don't start drawing anything yet, because some of you might have already spotted, well, Mr. Conway, if you drew your y-axis here, there'll be absolutely no room for your x-axis. It'll be off the paper. So just to give us a little bit of leeway, I want you to move your 10 centimetres, move it up until you see the number 15. There we go. So that extra 5 centimetres will just give us a bit more room to use the ruler again for the x-axis. However, do not start from 15. Remember, I only want 0 to 10. So I'm going to go 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. So my y-axis is actually going to start from here. And I need to go to the top. So I'm going to go 1, do a little mark to show we've done 1 centimetre. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I've got a straight line with my 10 parts of my coordinates. So this is my y-axis. Put a y up there so I can label this now. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So that's step 1. Now step 2 is to look at the x-axis, and the x-axis was from 0 to 12. So finding my centimetre part of my ruler, there's my 0s. Remember, we don't start from the end of the ruler, I start from where the 0 is. 0, 2, and 12 is there. So with my 0 of my ruler, I need to match that up to the bottom of my y-axis. There we are. And to make sure that this is straight, what I'm going to do, just use my judgment really. I've got a straight edge here, so use what we've already got. I've got a straight edge on my yellow paper. I'm going to do my best to make sure my ruler is parallel, is straight to the edge of the paper. And I'm pretty happy with where it is. So now I've got my ruler straight-ish. I'm going to start from 0, and what number do I need to end on? Yeah, that's right, I need to end on 12, because it's 0 to 12, and 12 is here. So I'm going to do the same thing again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. I'm going to label this my x-axis. Remember, x-axis is the two backward C's. I'm going to label this now 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So that's step 2. I've got my y-axis now, and now I've got my x-axis. But you could just go with this if you wanted to, and you could do a bit of a guess when you're using your coordinates. But I want to be slightly more accurate than that. So what I'm actually going to do now, very faintly using my pencil, is add in all the squares that should be inside. Now to do that, Mr. Conway's top tip is actually to flip it upside down. I'm going to start with the one that's on the x-axis. I'm going to put my ruler against that. I'm not too worried now about the numbers of my ruler. I just need the straight edge of my ruler. I'm going to make sure the straight edge of my ruler here is parallel, pretty much straight with the straight edge of my y. Yes, I'm happy with that. And very faintly, I'm now just going to draw lots of lines from my x coordinates going up so they are parallel to my y axis. And I'm going to do that all the way across. Now you'll notice, or you might be shouting at the screen, but Mr. Conway, you've got different lengths up here. You know what? It doesn't really matter. As long as they go over the 10 on the y-axis, it doesn't matter because I'm not actually going to be using any of these anyway. I'm only going to be using the coordinates that fit within the grid. So that's 6. Here's number 7. And as you watch me draw these, I'm going to tell you a little joke that I heard the other day, which I found quite funny. And it was about a banana going to the doctor's. The banana went to the doctor and said, "Doctor, doctor, doctor, I'm not peeling very well." Ha 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 ha. As we know, bananas peel, and it sounds a lot like feel, which is where you go if you're not feeling very well. You go to the doctor's. I wonder what kind of doctor banana would go to. There we go. Got to 12. So if I turn it back up this way, you notice I've got my lines going up, but you'll see I need to do my lines going across now from my y-axis. So again, Mr. Conway's top tip, I'm going to turn it to the side this time and line my ruler up with the number 1 on my y-axis and make sure it's parallel to the x-axis. There we go. And I'm going to go across again, nice and faint, so I don't get confused with my x and y axis. And as you see me complete this extremely boring and tedious job, I've got another great joke that I heard from you, and this one's from Miss Hutt. As you said, it was very popular with her class. You might have heard it before if you had Miss Hutt in the past. And the joke is this: what do you call a deer with no eyes? I said the answer was unfortunate if you found a deer with no eyes, but the actual answer is no idea. So there you are. If you see a deer with no eyes, I'd call the RSPCA first of all. But you can also tell your parents it's actually called a no idea. There's number 8. We're nearly there, everybody at home. 9, and finally 10. So there you are. We now have our grid that is ready. So I'll just show you what the original grid looked like. X and Y axis, 0 to 10, 0 to 12 with some squares in the middle, and we have managed to make our own. 0 to 10 for the Y axis, 0 to 12 for the X axis. Now for the actual activity. You need to design your own treasure island. How exciting! So I'm going to model for you a very quick demo. So here's my rough island. Now my island's a square shape. And on my island, you know what? I'm going to have a lake here. I'm going to have some mountains here. And what else could I have here? I think I'm going to have some trees, a little forest area there. And what your activity is today is to write some coordinates down, and with your coordinates, that's where your buried treasure is going to be. So I'm going to just write some coordinates. I'm going to write the coordinates, I don't know, 10, 4. I'm going to write the coordinates, 3, 7. And these are where my pieces of buried treasure are. And I'm also going to do 9, 7 as well. 9, 7. So that's what you need to do. And now you've done that, you need to go and ask someone at home if they're able to spot your buried treasure. So your treasure's there somewhere hiding in your map. And these are the coordinates for your buried treasure. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to model how, and you can be the teacher now. You're going to teach whoever's at home is going to complete this task. You can teach them how to do this. With my y-axis, actually I'm going to do my x-axis first. My x-axis, I'm going to use this orange pencil. Because remember, when we read coordinates, we always walk before we fly. X-axis and then the y-axis. So my 10 will be my x-axis, and the 4 is my y, will be, 4 will be my y-axis. So I'm going to go 10, 4. So I'm going to go across to 10. Here's 10, and then I need to go up to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the first piece of buried treasure is there. And if the parents at home have got it correct, or the carers got it home correct, you can give them a big tick saying, well done. Next, I've got 3, 7. Right then, so 3 is my x-axis. Y is my 7. So I'm going to go to my x-axis first. So remember, I'm going to put an x and a y up here, actually, just to help us all. X and y. So I'm going to go 3. Find my 3, go up to 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, it looks like my next piece of buried treasure is buried in the mountains somewhere. If your parents and carers have got that correct, give them another tick as well. Finally, my final coordinate is 9, 7. 9 is my x-axis, 7 is my y-axis, so I'm going to go to 9. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And now I need to go up to 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wow, my last piece of buried treasure is buried in the lake. How did that happen? So you need to create your own coordinates for someone else to try and find. And if they get all 3 correct or all 4 correct, however many you choose, make sure you give them a merit. So I got 3 correct and give myself 3 merits. So there you are, Year 4s. Have fun with this. It's a really fun activity to do. I hope you enjoy it, and please send in your treasure maps for me to have a go at as well. Other than that, enjoy treasure hunting, everyone, and I'll see you later.